Hello, viewer. How are you doing this evening?
Testing 1, 2.
Hey.
Did you have a good week?
Yeah. Pretty good. How about you?
It's been interesting.
Yeah.
I've been
Things.
printing a lot of stuff now that I got my 3D printer back.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yep.
things settling down up there a little bit?
Yeah, there ain't been no crazy drama lately. That it's been pretty peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's for the most part, I think it has been down here too. Yeah, a few nights of people going crazy, but it's just a perfect storm. You had all of these people all cooped up, and a lot of people out of work, and a lot of people feeling kind of anxious and anxiety and everything with all of the COVID. And then you drop this other stuff on top of it. And I was like, okay, it doesn't really surprise me that you had that, and, that you had outbursts of lawlessness.
Right. But now, did you see that the report is that they've got more numbers of COVID than they did before the start of it?
Yeah, it's.
Well, when you get over 100,000 people together for a rally, and then next thing you know, people start getting sick. Hello.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so, cool. All right. There's just some good rolls there.
Set 5 looks good for him. He's got 2 12s, 18 to 14, 2 14s, and a 15.
Yeah.
Even set
Okay,
3.
okay,
How
wait a
come you,
second.
how come you
Wait.
rolled so much?
Wait a second. Whoa. What the hell?
Oi, mates.
What the hell are
Hey,
you
Chris.
rolling?
I don't know why, but every time I join this channel here, it just freezes. Everything freezes for me for like a minute.
Yeah, that's Roll20 and Discord and everything sometimes does that nonsense.
Okay, I was getting worried about my computer, but it's not just me.
He's not. That's rolling 1, 2. See, it's rolling all 6 as 5d6. And it's dropping the lowest ones.
Set 1 and 2, he rolled 5 dice each. Set 3, 5 dice. 5 dice for set 4, 5 dice for set 5, and then the last one he rolled 6 dice. No, 7.
Okay. But you don't.
Seems like going off the rules, he would have set 2 would have given him his numbers, right? 3 above.
No.
15.
Okay.
Oh,
Get invoice.
There you go.
God
1, 2,
damn it.
3,
Invoice. You are not following the rules as intended.
Oh, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, I understand what he's doing.
Yes, but that's not what you're supposed to do.
There he is.
Hey, Wesley, how you doing, man? Okay, so somehow my simple instructions are apparently not so simple. Okay, you roll 5d, or you roll 60, or no, you roll 5d6. And that will give you a number between 5 and 30, right? But you drop the lowest 2. So the end result you have is you should have number between 3 and 18, and you should only have one set of numbers between 3 and 18. You shouldn't have 6 sets of numbers between 3 and 18. I don't know why you're getting 6 sets of numbers.
Why is my push to talk not working?
We can hear you.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh, it's not set to push to talk for some reason.
Okay.
I was wondering where the stupid button was. No, I want it to push to talk.
You know, they did an
There we go.
update. They did an update to Discord a while back, and it
Yeah, I must reset everything because I always have it set to push to talk.
people, yeah. So yeah, you should have one set of those numbers. I don't know when you have 6 sets of those numbers. You should only have one set of those numbers.
Oh, I thought you rolled 6 sets of 5D.
Well,
I see what you mean.
yes, you do roll 6 sets of
We can hear
5d6, but you rolled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You rolled 30 sets of 5d6, not 6 sets of 5d6.
Yeah, I took 6 sets of 5D6 to be 6 sets of ability scores.
Yeah, you thought it was 6 sets of character stats and picked the best one out of the 6. No, it's not. It's one set of character stats.
I got you.
Yeah, okay. All right. Did that throw anybody else off?
So I know some did this macro, and I think it was Mike had to do it, or who was it? No. Ken had to do it many times, this macro, until he got 3 that were 15, right? So if set 1 didn't meet your qualifications, so like if you look at set 1, he has 2 above 15, but not 3. So he did it again. But in set 2, the last roll has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So I'm not sure what happened when he did that one. So and then you look at the third one, and the third one looks like it's all got 5 rolls. So the third one would qualify, but that's a heck of a good roll. Holy cow.
Amen.
Yeah.
Oh, there was an extra R in the set 2. That's what caused that last
So
one
set
roll.
3, you meet all the, I mean, you like knock it out of the park.
Yeah, somehow
with your
there's
set 3.
somehow it says 5D6 RD2 instead of drop D2. I don't know where that R came from.
Oh, okay.
That's what screwed that one.
Yeah, set 3 is a really good character, and it also is as James points out, the first one that meets the
You like rolled the best.
what did I tell you? What did I tell you, James? I said 3 15s.
15 plus 3 over is thing, so you would have to take the set 2, 14, 17, 9.
No, not set 2 because the last roll was rolled wrong. But I
Well,
mean,
the last one's got a improper thing in it. That's why I
Oh.
rolled multiple.
Set 3 is the
Yeah,
right
yeah.
one. Just your set 3. That's one heck of a roll, but that's the
Yeah.
best one, and that would meet the
Yeah.
criteria.
you would have the high enough ability scores, and then or what do you call those, like the saving throw, whatever, and then you've got 15, at least 3 above 15. You almost have everything above 15.
Well, fuck,
Yeah.
mine rolls was like 16, 16, 16, 14, 14, 14, I think.
At least you didn't get a 6. Come on, I got a 6.
Oh my goodness.
I have to roll
Those can
like
be
3
fun. Those
times
can
to
be
meet the
really fun.
criteria.
Yeah.
Oh, like a fighter with a low intelligence is always so fun to play.
Hey,
Or
the
a
Chris
paladin
man,
with a
how
low
you doing?
intelligence.
All right. Well, while Wes finishes up his character, and Wesley, we will meet you in the first town that we get to after your character is done. And that won't be too long into the session tonight, I promise. But we will go ahead and get going tonight, since we're a few minutes after the top of the hour. Hello, everybody. My name is DM Galabond. I am joined here. I think we have a full house tonight, with all of the players on the Discord and in the Roll20. Wesley is able to join us tonight. Yay! And he will be bringing an extra special character that I will let him tell you about when you meet him or her for the first time. Also want to let you guys know that in the last few weeks, I have been getting steadily more and more annoyed with the lag and slowness and everything of Roll20. I was aware that there were a bunch of different macros and some API scripts and things like that out there that you could use, but I really hadn't had time to study them enough to understand A, what I really wanted them to do, and B, the best, most reliable, most efficient one. So I had a little bit of time this week, and I was able to look into some of those. I have a campaign that I use for testing. I tested those out, and then I actually did some tests at lunch today on the map where we had the fight last week, and everything seems to work as intended with these scripts. So we will start to use them, and you should see that things go a little bit faster when we do combats, and there's a couple of other quality of life enhancements in there. Mostly it's quality of life enhancements for me. Some of it will affect you guys. The biggest thing that you guys will notice is that when we get into initiative and when it is your turn, there will be a purple box in the chat column over there on the right that will tell you it's your character's turn, and it will have a little EOT button at the bottom right of that. So when you get finished with your turn and you want to pass the turn on to the next person, I no longer have to manually update the turn. You can just click that button when you're done and advance the turn counter to the next player. So that will save me from having to say, well, I probably will do it the first few times anyway because I'm used to it. Will allow me not to have to say, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? You can just click and go to the next person. And then if you watch that chat, you'll see a big purple box with your token and your name in it, and it'll tell you it's your turn. So just watch the chat box, and you will know when your turn comes up. All right. So last time we started our adventure leaving in a caravan of some 20 wagons out of and I'm gonna stop this. I have the music turned down so low I can barely hear it. Okay. The caravan leaving out of Baldur's Gate headed east. And you'll notice, one of the things you'll notice is an update right away in the map, is that your tokens have these little halos around them. And everything alive on the battlefield will have a halo around it. It will be a green halo for those things that are at full health. Will be an orange halo for those things that are bloodied, and or no, be orange for those that are less than full health. Red for those things that are above, and Ivy is already playing. And you will also notice, if you're watching Ivy's and
I
now
wanted to
Mulek's
help.
token, that that when you get injured, there's a spurt of blood, and when you get healed, there's a little green animation showing the healing flowing into you. So that happens for both both PCs and for monsters or NPCs. So that's a little thing, and that just is going to be a quick reference. Of course, I try to remember to use the little splotch thing to let you know when a monster is bloodied. But now you will better be able to tell when something is injured and when it is close to death. So if you're trying to look for something to hit, you'll also notice now that when I put groups of monsters on the field, it will go ahead and it will automatically number those, so that when I do initiative, I can just grab the group and it will automatically roll the initiative for them. And I have to remember the first time we use a monster to set up their character sheet, but I did find the way in the Roll20 character sheet for monsters to add the dexterity bonus automatically, so it will sort them in that order. So just be sure you have that set either on your Roll20 character sheet or on your D&D Beyond character sheet, whichever one you're using. All right, so now we have, I think that's all we wanted to do in by way of a recap. So let's go back to the did we have a map of the Sword Coast? We did not. Oh, it was the handout that I had. That's what it was. So I'm going to go back to this handout, and I'm going to open this up. Oops. Show it to the players, and I will open it up for the stream. Okay, so you guys are 3 days out of Baldur's Gate, on your way towards Fort Morninglord. And as you learned and saw firsthand, the biggest threat on this part of the journey are undead crossing the river Chianthar from the Fields of the Dead, where Centuries and centuries ago, there were all kinds of wars, and there's all sorts of skeletons and zombies and corpses and other undead nasties that are hanging out over there. The river forms something of a natural barrier, but some of the hardy undead are able to get across from time to time. And so we will continue with our. No, I'll just leave this up until we get someplace interesting. We will continue on our journey. Let me pull up my then page down. Okay. And then that is okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Day 4 goes away. Okay, you guys get a rest, full rest that night. They delay the departure of the caravan in the morning until everybody's had a full rest and gets recovered. So then day 4 passes without any trouble. Day 5 passes uneventfully. Day 6 passes uneventfully. Day 7 passes uneventfully. And as the evening begins, evening sky begins to darken on the 7th day, or on the 8th day, you see the walls of Fort Morning Lord ahead. And in fact, I guess maybe an hour before you get to the fort, you actually meet up with one of the fort's patrols that is ranging out from the fort. They see you and they will stop and they will ask you if you have met with any trouble on the road. And the person who talks to you is a human. He looks to be some kind of fighting man, but he has the holy symbol of Lathander on his breastplate. So he might well be a paladin. Let's see, humans, and so he says, "Well met. My name is Gigram Glusk from Fort Morning Lord." And we will put that there in the Discord for you. What is the news of the road on your journey?
Pretty
That's
quiet.
to
It's,
anybody. Okay.
Few undead. Nothing we couldn't handle.
Oh, undead, you say? How many days hence?
What was the city's name that we left?
Baldur's Gate.
Right outside of Baldur's Gate.
Oh, well, that is a wretched hive of scum and villainy, for sure. It's not surprising that all those slain by the pirates who run that place haven't raised it to the ground many centuries since. But it's good that you have made it this far. The fort is a mere hour up the road, and the road has been clear since we have left. You all will be welcome within its walls. And he gives you all a salute. And there is somebody that's clearly a cleric, and he pronounces a blessing of the Morning Lord over your caravan, and they ride off in the direction of Baldur's Gate. So you all come to the fort, and Fort Morning Lord is a Fort Morning Lord started off as a as kind of a walled keep and fortress, and it has gradually grown up. Gradually grown up to something of a town, and then there is a new, relatively new crop of knights and adherents of the Morning Lord that are in the place. There was some trouble a few years back, and you guys can make me a history check to see how many of you remember what was going on there. How many of you have heard of it? Yeah, Brock, not surprisingly. You've heard of it. Thaldor and Osprey. All three of you have heard of this. Brock would actually know a little bit more than the others because there would have been some reports that have gone to, the royal houses that might not have gone to other places. There was an incident in 1476, so some 13 years ago. There was an incident where a patrol left out from the fort, did an overnight patrol, came back, and when they got back, the fort was empty. Every single other person in the fort had disappeared. Every stone was blackened as though by fire, but the place wasn't burned. And every door and window was fused shut as though by very high heat. So the Church of the Morning Lord was naturally afraid that some sort of evil had befallen it. So they sent a huge force out to Fort Morning Lord, and they couldn't find a single trace of the former inhabitants, and all of their attempts to divine what happened returned very strange and vague responses. So it's like something was even blocking the Morning Lord himself from speaking to his followers there in that place. But the followers of the Morning Lord are nothing if they are not resilient. So they sent out a force that was twice the size of the former garrison to man the fort and reopen it, and they have operated it ever since without further incident. But for those that have heard about it, it is kind of a weird, one of those weird, unexplained things. And the people from, those of you that have heard about it would also have heard that the people from Fort Morning, they don't like to talk about it. They don't like to talk about it very much. But there's now a little village that has sprung up around the fort, and some farms that outlie it and everything. So it's kind of like a small town with a big keep right in the middle of it.
And the keep is currently occupied or no?
Yeah, it's currently occupied. So let me double check something over here. Nice. Okay. All right, so it looks like still working on that. Okay, so as per discussed last time, and as the caravan company told all the leaders, you get here on the 8th day. Basically, day 9 out of Baldur's Gate is a full day of trading here in the fort. So the wagons are all set up. The people are, the merchants do trading with the fighters and the good wives and the merchants and the blacksmiths and the furriers and everybody that's in the keep and the little town next to it. And the person who has the busiest day is Faldor. Because, of course, every time the caravan stops, there's always a concern. And even when you go to a fort that's run by a holy order, they still have such concerns that, people will try to sneak off with something that doesn't belong to them or something that they haven't paid for. So, Faldor, I would like you to make me a perception check in the morning. This will be sometime between waking up and... Okay.
It'd be 6 would be the first roll.
Yeah. So you look or you walk around and you don't notice anything, and you check in with a few of the merchants when they don't have customers, and they haven't had any trouble. And then let me do something over here. I'm going to do...
Oh, this is Sword Coast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, everything goes just fine in the morning. And does anybody have anything that they particularly want to do during their day off, on their day that they're not traveling?
Osprey yoga program.
Osprey yoga program, okay.
Yeah.
What about raising morale inside this place? A nice few songs.
Okay, yeah. They, in fact, they look and they see your dulcimer, and of course they would also, I'm sure, notice Falisher's guitar, and they would be happy to have. They would be happy to have you play Belle if you would like to. So go ahead and give me a performance roll.
Come on, could do it like old time's sake. It's been a while. Come on.
Falasher, would you be interested in playing some duets? I'll let you make a performance roll if you would like to.
Well, hell, I guess I could play a few of the strings today.
No,
Do we
it's fun.
both roll, or do I just?
You both roll. Okay. Well, Ivy, your roll.
Is out of tune.
Well, you know what it is you have this. You have been playing now on your own for some time, ever since you and Falasher had parted ways, and have developed a style that in your mind is similar, but it's not the same. So the tempo's always a little off when you guys are playing together, and but you're a consummate performer, so you sort of make up for it. And it doesn't come off hard. You feel bad about it, but as far as the audience is concerned, it doesn't come off bad. It just is not a stellar performance. So you guys, between you, you will earn 19 copper in the morning from people just, tossing coppers into open instrument cases.
Falasher will give his share to the poor.
Okay. All right.
Too.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. And then anybody else want to do anything? Osprey was doing the yoga. So tell me a little bit about the Osprey yoga program.
It's a running joke that all my characters actually have do the fictional version of the real program that I do.
Oh, okay.
So let's see. I'll make Osprey's version. Osprey's got a lot of cardio in the workout session. And actually his would be particularly spiritual. So this would be a spiritual DDP. It's a very interesting mix of running, flexing, shouting, and praying.
Okay, well, make a persuasion check for me. Or I'll let you either do persuasion or performance, your choice.
Same thing.
Okay.
So it's the effect it has on somebody else. Is that what we're
Yes.
checking here? It's
yes.
performance. It's performance. No, there's no effect.
You get a few half-interested looks from some of the more bored-looking guards who kind of are on their day off, but none of them comes and joins you. So,
What's the
role? Wesley, if you're not going to take the normal starting equipment, you can give yourself a budget of 600 gold. And I think with the class you were talking about, there may not be a whole lot of actual equipment, but then you get those items that we talked about. And any of that can be passed down from Gorham if your character had a connection to Gorham. But if not, then you can just find things that you think this guy would like to have.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So. All right. So that was the performers and Osprey. Did I hear Mulek? Did I hear you saying there was something you wanted to do?
Yeah. During the day, I'm just going to be meandering around, seeing if I can notice anyone talking about Talus or mentioning Talus, or seeing if I see any half elves that might appear to be Talus, or if anyone knows of Talus. I'm just kind of just keeping my ear open, walking around.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check. I guess this is you just kind of trying to eavesdrop on conversations and look to see if there's. Oh, okay. Yeah, you go around and you hear a couple of people talking about half elves, and you kind of linger long enough, and then you realize, oh, no, that's not who I'm looking for. And they say enough to realize, oh, that doesn't describe the person I'm looking for. So you don't come across any leads here.
Okay.
All right, Brock. Anything you wanted to do?
I would go axe throwing, but unfortunately, I am absolutely broke. So no.
Okay. All right. Well then, Valdor, the afternoon. Go ahead and make me a perception check. See if you notice anybody up to no good. Ooh,
Much better.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I woke up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you actually do see a kid, a child that's over by the wagon that has some of the foodstuffs on it, and there is some dried and candied fruit that has gotten a little bit aromatic, and the scent of it is sort of wafting around. And this kid, you noticed him around midday. He was kind of lingering around over by one of the shops. But over the course of the afternoon, he's kind of wandered closer and closer to the wagon. And you see him with that telltale look, like he's looking around, like he wants to see if anybody's looking. And he's right over there next to where those candied fruits are. And you can like almost see the itch on his fingers.
Oh, I've seen that look a lot of times before, even in myself. I sneak up behind him. Is what I want to do. Sneak up behind him and try to catch him. And then when I do, he doesn't know what I'm going to do. But once I catch him, I want to stop him, and instead of taking whatever he's trying to take, I'll throw him 5 gold and said, "Look, I appreciate you're good, kid. You know, you're looking around, you're spotting everything, but you can always be better. But for right now, do the right thing here and give him 5 gold. Go buy yourself something to eat."
And of course, you put a hand on him as he's reaching for the candied fruit, and he gives a yelp and about jumps out of his skin. And, he kind of falls down and does that little kind of, crab thing, sort of looking up, worried that you're about to yell at him or something. And when you start talking to him, he just gets real still. And the merchant gives him a stern scowl, but doesn't say anything because he sees that the security has intervened. And so he goes back to dealing with his customers. And the boy eventually gives his name as Oh, sir. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. My name is Better Cheru. And we'll put that in there. Kid stealing candy is okay. All right. And he says, "Oh," and when you give him the coin, he looks at you and he says, "Oh, oh, so you need me to take care of your horse for the night? What do I need to do for you, sir?" Because he's thinking he's getting paid for something, but he's not sure what he's getting paid for.
Kid, I appreciate. Look, I know what you were going to do. You know, I'm just trying to keep you at such a young age honest. I didn't have that choice. I'm trying to give you that choice. So I appreciate you wanting to do work for me. But look, here, just take it. And, you know, maybe you'll see me around. But just take it, keep your nose clean, and go do some honest work.
Oh, right, sir, right. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. And he then puts the coins away, and he runs over to one of the other wagons that is selling some food, but it's also selling some very nice fabric over there. So he runs off over there, and he disappears.
That's a good kid.
All right. So the rest of the day and the evening passes. It's in a town, and there, not only do you guys have your own caravan watch, but of course there are patrols by the soldiers of the Morning Lord. So everything passes uneventfully for the evening. And on the morning of day 9, you head out once again from the caravan route, and we will say, what is the chance there? Okay, that's what the chance there is. Okay. All right. Day 9 passes, or no, day 10, I'm sorry, because day 9 you spent in the fort. So day 10 passes uneventfully. That night goes on uneventfully. And on day 11, about midday,
We lost him.
oh, whoops.
No.
Now you're back.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I had gone missing there, MIA. All right, so what the hell is this town again? Okay. Okay. There we go. All right. As you get about midday, you notice something that is a bit odd. And it would be a bit odd for those of you not from this area, but those of you who've been around this part of the Forgotten Realms, you would have heard the stories, whether you'd seen it or not. By about midday, you can see what looks like almost a white flame or fire on the horizon in the direction of Elturel, the city. And as the day wears on and you get closer, you actually realize that there is what looks like an artificial sun just suspended some 500 feet in the air over the center of Elturel. And go ahead and make me a history check to see if any of you have heard what they call this. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay, everybody except Falliger, which, okay, that makes sense because Falliger just kind of wandered all over the place. Maybe never quite got through here. Okay. Bell, in fact, this is kind of right up your alley. You have heard the songs about this. This is what they call the companion. And the companion is is the remnant and the physical manifestation and reminder of aid that was lent to the city of Elturel at a time when they were being overrun by undead. There was an angel Zariel, and this angel descended in response to prayers by the people of Elturel, and she placed this holy orb in the sky above the city, and it sheds radiant light so that humanoids who are natural humanoids, and this includes even humanoids like drow and half drow and everything. For drow, it's very uncomfortable on their eyes, but it doesn't really do them any harm. But for creatures that really are necrotic or negative energy in nature, like undead and whatnot, it will burn them in the same way that sunlight burns vampires, at least in all the stories. And so there's many cycles and songs and about Zariel. There's also songs about what they call the Hell Riders, which is a group of paladins that came to follow Zariel and rode into the teeth of hell itself, following this angel. And most of them were lost, along with Zariel herself. Zariel was destroyed and never came back from her journey into hell. There was only a few of the soldiers that came back, but they reported that the breach that had been inciting all of the undead to attack the city had been sealed, and so they were honored as great heroes. And this was like 130 years ago that this all happened. 120, 130 years ago. So in terms of human lifetimes, it's been several generations. But of course, for dwarves and elves, it's been, a mere century and a half. So you've heard all those tales, and you probably know a few songs, and in fact, you know some of the happy songs, and so you're probably thinking, oh, they might like to hear some of those happy songs about the riders, and there's lots of inns around and everything. Let's see, where's the okay. There's a few inns. There is the Black Griffin and the Gallogars, the Oar and Wagon Wheel, and a couple of others. And then the best tavern in town, at least the one where the tavern where they have kind of the competition for the best song every night, is at a place called A Pair of Black Antlers. And that is actually right across the street from the Black Griffin. It's a little bit interesting. Those two form almost like a matched pair of businesses, because unlike many inns, the Black Griffin does not serve any food or ale. And the tavern, A Pair of Black Antlers, serves food and ale, but they do not have any lodging. So oftentimes people will go and get rooms at the Black Griffin, and then they will go across the street to the Pair of Black Antlers to listen to music and drink and eat and enjoy some revelry, and then they go back to the nice quiet inn where they sleep. So that is the way those two businesses operate. So the caravan will pull into town. They will get all situated at. They're actually in the merchant district, which is near the Black Antlers, or the Pair of Black Antlers and the Black Griffin. And some of the caravan folk decide they want to go to the Pair of Black Antlers for dinner. And most of the caravan folk are actually sleeping with the wagons, because most of them don't have enough money for a room. But as long as you can get someone to cover your watch, if you do have room, or if you do have money for a room at the inn, you can get a room at the inn, or you can use the services of the copper baths, the copper tubs for hot water baths that they have at the Black Griffin down on the ground floor. And you can get a nice bath if you need one or want one.
Yuck, baths. Who likes baths? Neat.
Falazur's gonna go get a bath.
Okay.
I'll go with him.
I don't understand how you guys can do it. Like, yuck.
You
I'm
should
gonna be
try it,
nice to
Bale.
that one.
Yeah. As Belle just
Right. I just gave her a weird look and I said,
I'll
"That's
pour
why
my
you don't enjoy
cleansing
baths."
stone and clean myself. Thank you. I have my own ways. But yes, I will lick my bird. Make sure it's nice.
Okay. All right. So, anybody going to do anything with this, with the inn or with the tavern this evening?
Yes, Osprey likes Black Antler singing competition.
Okay.
Not
What?
to
There's a
participate in, just to view.
singing competition.
Yes, nightly singing competition at Black Antlers.
Well, Fella's yours. Got to get in this.
You go further.
Singing
Okay.
competition. I can howl. I can meow.
You're not there.
Can I go in? Oh.
Yeah. All right. Well, so we have 2 that are going to enter, and actually, Belle, you know, you can decide if you want to enter that. You can enter, or you can enter the competition for the best instrumental if you would like to play instead.
I'll do
Or
the
you
judging.
could, huh?
But I'll sit and watch the singing.
Okay, yeah, sure. You can go in and watch the singing. Anybody else going to join those 3?
Yeah. Mulek's gonna go in to get some good food and just see what's going on. But I'm gonna sleep out with the wagons.
Okay. All right. Let's see. And then, okay. Let's do this. Okay, so you guys go on in. Going into this place, the pair of black antlers, and they have a great menu, as the name would imply. They are known for their venison here, but they also have beef, they have pork, they have chicken and turkey. They do root vegetables and green vegetables. They have a couple of different kinds of fruit cobblers that they do for desserts, and they have fish that's caught fresh out of the river, trout that they will serve, and they also have nice leafy green salads that they do. And there's a something that approximates a balsamic vinaigrette dressing that they use on their salad, and they drizzle that on some of their other savory dishes as well, to add just a little bit of flavor. And a full meal here, which includes a salad, um, the main protein and 2 vegetables, and a full dessert. And it also includes your choice of ale or beer or water. That will run you 5 silver for that. If you want a keg of the ale, and this is a table keg, so it's like it's not a huge keg like they would serve the whole bar from, but it's maybe like 3 gallons, enough to serve a whole table for a night. That is 7 silver for that. The stout is 1 silver per tankard. The wine ranges anywhere from a silver per glass to 10 gold for a bottle, for the really spendy stuff. And then there is an alcoholic liquid called Elverquist, which is a variety of elven spirits. And it is 4 gold pieces per glass. By far, it's the most expensive drink in the entire tavern. They don't sell many of those, and when they do, it's when somebody orders one of those, it's a little bit of something of an event.
So I'll order your special. I'll just order the special with water.
Okay. All right. Oh, and those of you who are in the singing, so Osprey and Falashur. And since you're a bard, I'm going to let you roll on this too, Bell. Give me a history check to see if you know anything special about this inn.
You did say my name, right?
Yep.
Oh.
And Osprey, you can roll as well.
Okay.
Bless.
Bless you.
History checks. Say,
Yes, history check.
I
Okay.
am interested. I like my food and my singing. I'm happy times.
Okay. Well, you are not aware before things begin. None of you are, because your roll wasn't quite high enough. But you tend to notice a pattern. When they do their singing, some people in this competition, some people will play an instrument and not sing. Other people will play an instrument and accompany themselves. Other people, it'll be like one or two people playing and a third person singing, or sometimes harmonizing with one or more instruments. And then there are the brave souls who get up and sing a cappella. And you begin to notice that there's a song that several people start, and they will get maybe a verse or two into the song. And when they get into the song, you get a sense it's an unfamiliar melody, unfamiliar words, but you get a sense they must have done something wrong, because people begin hissing and they begin banging their fists on the table. And as soon as that starts, the person just stops the song wherever they are, and they kind of sheepishly get off the stage and go and sit down. But they, what you get from the first 3 times this happens is you get the first verse of this, where the words go, riding, riding across the plain, see them riding home again, bright their shields, bright their chain, the knights of Dragon down. Some of them get a little farther than that, but they almost all get through the first verse. So after you hear it a few times, you can catch that much. All right. So, Belle, were you going to play something or not?
Instrument.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a performance check. Hey, that's pretty good. Okay. You play one.
Can't use my inspiration die on myself, correct?
Oh, no, you can. You can. If you want
I
to use
can.
your inspiration, you can.
Okay.
A 14 is pretty good. All right. So, nice. Nice. 20. Wow. Okay. So, you launch into this. It's kind of like a reel, which is a nice jaunty little dance tune, and the word or the common words to that in these parts are a celebration song of the return of the knights coming back from sealing up the gates of hell, as they tell it. And so as you play this, feet begin to stamp, and then a rhythmic pounding of mugs on the tables, and then first at a couple of tables and then all across the bar, voices just come in and they start singing this song, and they sing 2 or 3 verses of it, and then you show when they get towards coming into the last 2 verses, you show that you really know this song well, because you increase the tempo on the next to the last verse, and people start laughing and they start clapping and they start singing along faster and faster and faster. And then on the final verse, you pick up the tempo yet again, and now people are really, there are some people that are kind of out of breath and they're laughing and they're clapping, and the other hearty souls are going along and they're belting out the words at the top of their lungs. And then you finish with a flourish, and there's just an eruption of sound in the room, and everybody is super excited about it. So far, you're the only person who has played or sung that song tonight. And as you come down off of the stage, you catch at least one glance of one performer who looks a little bit crestfallen. He has an instrument of his own, and you get the feeling maybe he was thinking of doing that same song, but after you just blew it out of the water, he's like, "Oh crap! Okay, I'm not going to do that." That would be like going to an open mic night, thinking that you are going to play your solo guitar rendition of Stairway to Heaven, and then just before you go up, Jimmy Page goes up there and starts playing, and it's like, yeah, okay, ain't gonna do that.
We'll try and give him like a little tiny smile and jingle our bells just to try and make him like happy just a little bit. But then she'll turn to Osprey and Falliger and wink at them and say, "Good luck, boys!" And she'll go sit down.
Okay. All right. Osprey, Falliger, which one of you would like to go next?
Osprey looks around awkwardly as people are talking to him about performing when that wasn't what he intended.
Oh, well, okay. I thought you had said that. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. You don't have to, if you weren't intending to perform, you don't have to.
No, it wasn't for him to. He sings along, but he doesn't perform solos for others.
Oh, okay. Then
Make a giggle. Come on.
Then Falliger, I guess you're up. After a few more people perform, and then you can go and do whatever you wish.
Yeah, I'll play and sing. It's fine.
Okay. All right. You're gonna go for something like a ballad, or go for a jaunty tune, or
Yeah, I'll go for something elvish, something that'll give them the old wow factor if I can.
Okay. Okay, nice. Go ahead and make me a performance check. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Well, and do you accompany yourself on your guitar while you sing, or do you just sing this without an instrument?
Yeah, I play the guitar and sing.
Okay. You start playing, and it's this melody that's just kind of haunting, and it starts off very quiet, but just after a few bars, the ambient noise level in the room just drops down to a hush, and people are all staring at Falliger with rapt attention. And he goes through and he plays for a little bit, and at first you think it's just going to be an instrumental piece, and it as you close your eyes, it just sort of sounds like this elven woodscape, and there's a gorgeous breeze, and then he begins to sing, and his voice blends so perfectly with the instrument. And Belle, it just makes you smile because, oh yeah, I remember that. There are times that Falliger could just knock it out of the park in terms of his singing. And he goes on and he sings a couple of verses. And Falliger, is it in Elvish, I presume, that your song would be, or is it in Common?
Oh yeah, it's Elven.
Okay. Of course, most of the people in here are not elves. Some of them do understand Elvish. And whether they can speak Elvish or not, just between his voice and the sound of the instrument, it just perfectly paints the pictures of emotions. And everybody, tears well up in their eyes at the right time, and smiles come on their faces at the right time. And as the song ends and the last note fade away, there's just this moment where you can't even hear people breathing because it's so quiet in there. And it's just a little crackle of the logs in the fire. And then, people kind of are wondering what the most appropriate thing to do is. And a couple of elves that have just been kind of overwhelmed with emotion, they just leap up and they start applauding and cheering, and then that gives license to everybody else to just add thunderous applause. And the barkeep comes over and he says to you, "Oh, sir, you honor us with your music. Oh, I have not done this in many a year, but sir, would you allow me the privilege of gifting you a mug of the Elvaquist?"
Sure, that'd be all right. I mean, that little thing. I mean, it wasn't my best, but it reminds me of home. So I'd appreciate that.
"Oh, sir, you are far too modest. Oh, and then he goes and he rings this bell, and he rings it 3 times, and he pauses for a moment, and then he rings it twice, and he pauses, then he rings it 3 more times, and the serving maids, they all have this kind of harmonizing chant, Elvaquist, Elvaquist, Elvaquist. And so then people who are regulars here, they know what's going on. This apparently is this whole big production they do every time they sell a glass of the Elvaquist. But of course, they are going to give it to Falliger for his performance. And nobody.
Falliger's going to give it to Belle. She's probably never tried such a thing.
But we'll see it set
Okay.
on the table and she'll just shove her face in the glass and just start trying to lick it.
Okay, well, the Elverquist is ruby colored and and smooth but flecked with gold. And when they bring out the bottle to pour it, the bottle looks to be made of transparent crystal. And then as as the bartender finishes pouring it on the table, and before you all can touch it, he speaks a phrase in Elvish that you recognize. Anybody who speaks Elvish recognizes as Corlan, show us your light. And it within the glass there are 13 different points of light that light up and slowly spin around for a few seconds before they then fade. And then at that point, if you want to, you can hand that over to Belle. So Belle, having seen all that production and everything that goes into it, still just gonna shove your little kitty nose in there and start lapping it up.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Her tail wagging and everything, so happy, like. Then she'll raise her face and look to him and say, "You want a sip? It's really good, I swear."
Yeah, and actually, we'll just say there that something, a fragment of something Belle has heard about Elvish culture comes to her mind, and she remembers after lapping up some of it that oftentimes the elves will share it, and when they offer it to somebody else, they give a little bow. So if you do want to share it with people, you can offer it in the traditional Elvish.
Yeah, she'll do that.
Elvish. Okay, all right.
If not, she'll stick her nose back in and keep on drinking it.
Okay. I'm gonna need if you. Okay, who else is going to partake of this? There's 4 or 5 of you guys there. Osprey, you want any? Mardek, you want any?
Yes,
Anybody
Osprey
else?
loves this idea. Although if it's Osprey is likely the one that will try to find somebody else completely not in the table if he's like got control of it in order to continue such a thing. Because he, as long as Felliger and Bell have had it, Bell has had it, and then he drinks. He's thinking, well, we should continue this custom.
Okay. Mulek, are you going to have any, or are you just gonna?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna have any.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, yeah. All right, Bell. Osprey has saved you from having to make a Constitution check, so that's good. If it was just going to be passed around to 3 of you guys, and you were going to do that, then because of the tabaxi metabolism, I was going to have you make a Constitution check to see if you were to see if you were a little bit tipsy at the end of the night. But
I would think she would be a little bit tipsy because she's normally used to drinking milk and things with not alcohol in it.
Yeah, but you know, this is the elves make spirits that will intoxicate you when you drink too much, but if you drink just enough, it will leave you feeling warm but clear-headed
And euphoric.
and euphoric. but you won't have any kind of ill effects from intoxication, because that's the way elves do things. Dwarves just simply overpower alcohol with their iron constitution. That's just what they do. Elves make the actual spirits do all the work. Okay.
Dwarves just drink till they can't see.
Yeah. Hey, Wesley, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Do you about have
Almost
everything?
there.
Okay. All right. Well, then let me do this. Let's go ahead. It's a little bit early, but let's go ahead and take our break. It's a little bit after 9:20, so let's go ahead and break until the bottom of the hour. And then when we get back, we will go ahead and let Wes introduce his character. And then, Wes, if there's any details that you need, you and I can figure those out on Discord while everybody else is playing. And we'll go ahead and do that break. I am going to step away for just a minute, grab a drink myself, and then I'll be back probably before 9:30, but we'll go ahead and break until the bottom of the hour.
right, sir. All I need to know is weapons and armor and that kind of stuff I can pick.
Okay. Did you go with the normal starting equipment? Did you go with one of the starting packs?
No. I rolled a Goliath.
Okay. Then. Okay. Essentially, the answer is anything you can afford with the following limitations. In all of your equipment, you can have one uncommon item, one common magic item, and 2 potions. And those potions have to be uncommon or common. Reason being that as tier 1 characters, you guys are able to access common and uncommon magic items, but something that's rare or very rare would be unbalanced for your level and the enemies that you're facing.
Most definite.
And your if you decide not to take all 4 of those options, just let me know what you did take, and I will tell you how much of the 600 gold you have left over from that. But if you rolled your gold for your starting equipment, you can use the gold you rolled for your starting equipment.
So what's the limit on the items themselves? I mean, like just as long as it's common or uncommon?
Yes. I mean, there are some very nifty uncommon magic items that some people took.
Hell yeah, winged boot.
Yeah. I think there's actually a couple of pairs of those floating around.
Well, I got the broom.
Somebody got the broom of flying.
That's the weakness of a fighter, is something that can fly away.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you decided to go that route. I was thinking based on our earlier conversation, you had gone the other route, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but it seems like the party kind of needs a heavy fighter.
Okay.
It seemed like it was kind of caster heavy.
Pretty much like the last party.
Well, I'm sorry. I wanted to try something new.
I'm glad you did. I had wanted to do a Battle Master, but that wasn't available last time, so I think that's what I'm gonna do this time, is do a battle.
Here in the town goes fine. And then the next night, uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Okay, did everybody see that little red message from...
Red message?
I didn't see a message.
There's no
Oh,
red
okay.
message.
Okay. That must have been only on my end. But I had that little brief red message that says, your connection to the Roll20 server is...
Oh yeah, I've been getting those. I've been getting we can't hear anything from your mic for weeks now, and I always go in and test it, and it always just works.
Oh, yeah. That is Discord being overly anxious, in my opinion. It does that to you. If you don't talk for a while, hey, we're not hearing anything from your mic. That's because I'm not talking. Okay. So the day of trading goes well. Next night goes well. Now that we are all a party, I am going to flip forward the calendar a little bit. You go the next few days, get to Atriel, which puts you on the tradeway. And on the tradeway, you guys then turn south and head to Scornubel, where you will meet up with the river. And indeed, on the evening of the 19th of chess, you guys arrive at the town of Scornubel, and I am going to bring us to a little town. Okay, a little town map over here. Okay, where did you go? You went all the way down that way. Okay, so I'll put us here. And oops, I needed to bring the bookmark over here. Okay, so you all are in this little town, and I am going to go back to the scene of our last battle, as I mentioned before. And I'm going to drag all of you over here in a little group, and then I will move you since your tokens were all set up properly to begin with here. So the other thing, Wesley, once we get your character set up and get a token, I'm asking everybody not to put the tokens on the maps themselves. Once I have them... Okay, once I have the token set up correctly and tied to your character, I will copy your token from map to map to make sure that you can still control it and do all the other stuff and everything. And we don't have to worry with having to go and fiddle around with people's tokens.
You just set it up the way you want, and then go under. The DM has to do it under the edit, and then click save the token. You click on the token and save it the way you want it, and each time you pull it out, it'll be just like that.
Well, theoretically, yes, but in practice, it doesn't always seem to work that way. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of extras. Okay, whoops. Dadgummit.
I'm going to fight myself.
2 Brocks. Who did I miss? Damn it.
You deleted Mulek.
Okay. So there's Mulek, and then there's Thaldor. Okay, now these guys, you go away. All right, now you bring Errgal. Come on, Errgal. There's Errgal. Okay, now I want to double check. We've got that and that, so we will do 18, and we will do 18.
I chose Goliath, but I started to do a Centaur because I thought it would be cool to have a character who can carry a lance and use it himself because he doesn't have to have a mount.
Okay, now the centaurs, yeah, the centaurs in this edition are medium creatures. They're not large like they used to be.
Yeah, but they're already 4-legged, so they can like use the lance as a charging weapon because they don't have to have a mount. They already are.
Yeah. One thing we did run into a problem with in another game is that centaurs wind up having this real problem with climbing. So that's the
Yeah,
drawback.
that was the drawback to him. Yeah, the getting into anything becomes a serious problem for him, and size limitation makes them a pain in the ass too.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are in the town of Scornubel. And there, I guess the party gets here, and I'm not going to put Errgal with the party. I'm going to move you guys down here and let Errgal be up towards the top of the map there. And Errgal, for the benefit of everyone else, what kind of character would they see as this caravan rolls into town and they
would see this hulking brute of a monster, 7, almost 8 foot tall, weighing over 300 pounds, in gleaming armor that seems to have not a single speck of dirt on it anywhere. He is clearly born a powerful build and a melee combatant and athlete. And he's a walking arsenal, as you notice multiple weapons hanging on.
Okay, excellent.
And he seems to exude this, not the paladin's holy aura, but more like a aura of honor, as though he would not do something dirty in combat because that would be uncouth. Those of you who know who an Uthgard tribe member are, that's what he is.
Awesome.
Okay. Yes. All right. Cool.
Well, you said you're using Sword Coast, so I thought I'd go with the background.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to do. When we came back from break. And someone reminded me of it in a private message, and I think I saw a couple of other questions about it in the Discord. Okay. All during the break, Belle asked me a question, and she said, "Can I use my inspiration for myself?" And I think I recall that last time Belle had earned herself a DM's inspiration, which is when you ask me as a character, can you use inspiration? If you have inspiration, that to me says you want to use DM's inspiration, which means you want to take a second D20 and use the better of the two results. But what Belle actually meant, and to use the feature of her class as bardic inspiration. So any of you who are currently or plan to in the future play bards, please specify if you want to use bardic inspiration. Please specify I want to use bardic inspiration for something, because otherwise when you say I want to use inspiration, that is a mechanic that the DM awards that gives you an extra D20 roll. So I should have disallowed her use of the inspiration, but I didn't realize what she was actually going to do until she actually rolled that extra D6. So
you could just use the it should be in your like that and that. You could just post that.
Yeah, if you go, that's probably the clearest thing to do. When you want to use a feature of your character, go to your character sheet, click on it, and it will post it in the comment area, and then we can all see what you're talking about, as opposed to just simply asking about it. Or maybe ask about it and then post it so we can all see and make a ruling. Because just posting it there, that I won't penalize you for actually using it. All right. So any questions future going forward? going back, questions about the bardic inspiration versus regular inspiration? Hearing none, good. We will go on. So what we want to do is we are going to have an evening here in town that allows the caravan members to join in the celebration of the season, because of course the 19th of chess is the spring equinox festival. It's a huge party in every corner of the Sword Coast, and it presents a special challenge for caravans due to the carousing of caravanners, the craftiness of thieves' guilds in towns, and a tendency for town militia to sometimes blame any trouble on outsiders, like those blasted caravanners who are always causing trouble for the, in air quotes, decent folk of the town. So what we are going to do on this other street of the town over here, I am going to mark out a grid, and Ken may have been the only one who's experienced this in one of my games, because it really never, there was never really a good time to do it in the Essentials game. But we are going to do a skills challenge. And the skills challenge is where it counts like an encounter in terms of what you are doing, but instead of taking turns attacking or defending, you take turns narratively using your skills in order to tell how you get through a scenario. And with a group this size, we are going to do a skills challenge, which requires 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I do have something I'd want to do beforehand, Galabon, if possible.
Okay. Let me get this set up. Boom. Boom. Okay. Requires 6 or 12 successes before we have. I'm going to draw a shape in this one. I'm going to make a different color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So you have to get 12 successes before you get 6 failures in order to win the skills challenge. And I will set up the scenario, but before we get started with that, what was it that you wanted to do, Brock?
Because the caravan master warned me of this before we even left Baldur's Gate, I would have had it in mind. I would like to try to, if possible, arrange the caravan in a fashion to where it's circling around in a square with a wagon in the middle that I can stand on top of and keep a better view.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, you can do that. You can do that for sure.
So there was it 12 or 11 wagons? 11, right?
No, there's 20 wagons.
20 wagons. Okay, I'll do my best to put them in a square and then put one in the middle that I can stand on top of in the back.
Okay. Sounds good. You can sort of get that arranged, and in fact, you tell a couple of other people, and there's some of the drovers, the caravan drivers, that as soon as you mention, they go, "Oh yeah, we've done something like that before," and so they can kind of help you with the logistics.
Yeah. Also,
here in place.
the guards on my wagon, because I'm going to be in the wagon the whole time. I'll push them out to the corners to watch the perimeter.
Okay, all right. Well, I am going to let's do this. We are going to have a commoner. We are going to have a commoner here. And we are going to have a goblin here. Okay. All right. So on the map, and let me go ahead and center it as well. On the map, I have the commoner and the goblin. The commoner represents your successes. The goblin represents your failures. Now, the goals of your skills challenge, the overall goal of your skills challenge is to get through the Spring Equinox Festival without having anything stolen from the caravan wagons. And you don't have to each do something that is every turn that's actively protecting the wagons, but you can be interacting with people. And there's 3 basic activities that you can choose to do. And I tried to make these broad enough that you can fit them into whatever skills you have that you're good at on your characters. So the first thing is you can enjoy some of the Spring Equinox festivities. Those would be contests of skill, drinking games, games of chance, or dancing or singing. So those would be things like performance or persuasion, or you might do athletics or acrobatics depending on what kind of skills you're doing. Then you can protect the wagon and party members from sticky fingered thieves guild members. So that would be things like your perception or your investigation, successfully noticing or distracting a would-be thief is good enough to succeed. Remember, we're not going to have any combat, so you don't have to attack anybody. It's not going to turn into a brawl or anything. Okay, who just left and came back, or was that me?
I
Okay.
had to redo Discord. It was acting stupid.
Oh, okay. I was worried it was me. All right, and then the third is the third thing you can do is to stop other caravanners from doing something stupid that would get them arrested by the town guard. So that would be things like creative intervention to stop a bar brawl. So that might be like persuasion or intimidation. Protect the honor of a tavern maid or a town wife. Prevent disorderly conduct or diffuse tensions with townsfolk. So since most of you haven't done this before, the way this is going to be is we're going to put everybody into initiative. And when your turn comes up, you're going to get to use almost all of your skills. The first person will get to use any skill they want at the top of round 1. Thereafter, the limitation is that you cannot use the skill that was used by the person in initiative just in front of you. So if the person in front of you used athletics, you cannot use athletics right away again. You have to use something different. And then when we get to the second round and beyond, you have 2 skills, and it never gets more than 2 skills, but you have 2 skills that you're limited to. You cannot use the skill of the person that went just before you. You can also not use the same skill you used the previous turn. So in round 1, if you use athletics, when it comes around to round 2, you cannot use athletics again. You have to use something other than athletics. Now, the person in front of you may have used athletics, so that means both of your can't use are athletics, so you just have one skill blocked off. But if you used athletics, the person in front of you used persuasion, then you can't use athletics or persuasion. You have to use something else. So this is a way. This is actually a mechanic that they introduced in D&D 4th edition, and the actual rule set is slightly adapted from that. But it's a way of letting you narrate an encounter without having to roll so many dice, and get you thinking a little bit out of the box of creative ways of using your skills that are on your skill sheet, other than the way you might use them in a combat situation.
I love it.
Okay.
Are we gonna roll for Are we gonna roll for initiative so we can?
You guys are gonna roll for initiative, and I will give you 2 choices. No, I'm not going to give you 2 choices. I'm going to let all of you roll for inspiration on your own, because that's one of the most fun things that you guys get to do.
Say what?
There's a cool little tool, one of the cool little tools that I put in that lets me just grab a whole group of things and set the initiative for all of them. But I'm not going to do that to you guys. You guys can.
I clicked on my token and rolled mine, but it's not linking it for some reason.
Okay, that's odd.
Very odd. Hold on.
Click on your token and roll again.
I got a good roll. I got a 23. I'll roll again though.
After
You
you're
can
on the
always
turn
just
order,
click on it and type 23.
Yeah, see, Ken got his to work. I don't know what. Me and his rolls
It's
kind
not-
of the same.
It's not posting though. Oh yeah, it did. It was just slow. Well, that's a poop. That is a poop roll.
Okay.
Give me a second. Let me figure this out.
I think it has
All
something
right.
to do with the double tokens we had at the start.
I'm not sure. I've had this problem not only in this game but the Sunday game. I didn't used to.
So, oh, well, I'll tell you what, I think, and it didn't. Yeah, actually, Thaldor, as I look in the chat list, I'm not seeing an initiative roll for you at all. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm clicking my token, and on D&D Beyond, I'm clicking initiative, and it's not posted.
Click
Are you clicking with the pointer?
click the border on the right side or left side.
When you are you seeing the little die when you try to click it on D&D Beyond?
I am not. It don't show a die when I click initiative.
I see a little die pop up on mine, and I have to move it a little bit until I get a little hand, and then I click initiative, and it'll allow me to roll it. But it's not giving me my dex score, so I'm not sure where that went. But
You will see a hand signal for your mouse icon.
yeah.
And are you sure it's not on like private roll?
It's not. Hold on. Give me 1
D&D
second.
made some updates, and it's kind of
Sorry.
changed some things.
No. I appreciate it. No, I'm just trying to figure it out. It's like
You can't click on the number itself. You need to click on the red outline of the initiative box.
Is there a perk from rolling
it's
from
not
D?
showing that from me.
I don't know. Just do /roll 20 and add your modifier. We'll figure it out later. It's something that I need to get with Galley and fix too, because I'm tired of dealing with it.
Okay, so her initiative, her dexterity is 18.
How do I add the modifier?
You just type it. So like / roll your d20 plus your dex modifier.
Yeah, so if you have a +2 modifier, it would be /R d20 +2. If it's a +4, it would be a +4 instead. Okay. Osprey. Osprey. Where the hell is this? This is 0.17. Come on.
You get
Mulek.
so another way to type that would be like this.
Mulek is also a 17.
Yeah, in our last game, it used to show my deck score from D&D Beyond. I don't know why it disappeared. Why it doesn't work now.
Yeah. Again, it was those updates they did, and they can never leave well enough alone. Every time they update something, they have to tinker. They have to change crap. Okay. Thaldor, 19, and what is your actual deck score, Thaldor?
Oh, my deck score is 19.
Okay, so I'm
No,
going
no.
to...
So it's 19 plus 4.
So that's 23. It'd be 23.19.
Yeah. Add turn. All right. Now, come on. 23.19. Oh, come on, you dumb son of a...
Right, it's acting goofy. I turned off the dice. Let me see if that helps. Hold on. Now it wants to work, and it's the same score.
Okay. All right. So.
How do we turn off the dice?
Yeah, turn the dice off.
Okay. Worry about that later, not during the session. Okay. So. Now, here's one of the enhancements that you all will notice. You notice now that Thaldor is at the top. It shows the little purple box, and it also shows a little ring around Thaldor's icon. And so this will highlight whose ever turn it is on the in the combat. One of the other things that I want to do that I haven't had a chance to do yet, and I hopefully by next week I'll get it. There is a script out there which will actually move the camera to focus and center on whose ever turn it is. So those of you who have a tendency to fall asleep and wind up getting, out away from the group, well, when it's your turn, we will focus the whole camera on you, and then you can figure out where everybody else went because you're off in left field somewhere. All right, so Thaldor is up, and so what I need you to do is I need you to give me a narrative way you are using your skill, one of your skills, and then you're going to roll the skill check. So it'll be roll your skill plus whatever your modifier for that skill is, and you have to equal or exceed a certain DC. If you equal or exceed the DC, you will gain 1 success for your group. If you fail to meet that DC, it'll be 1 failure for the group. And the consequences of this skills challenge will be, if you succeed the skills challenge, you guys will wind up at the end of the festivities with a bit of gold that comes your way as a party and gets distributed among the members of your party, just basically representing the fact that it was a really good night and everything went swimmingly well and whatnot, and you got to line your purses with, games of chance won, or appreciation shown by people in the town or whatever. If you lose the skills challenge, then you guys will wind up having some consequences. And for most of you, that'll probably mean that you notice a coin purse is a little bit lighter than it was at the beginning of the skills challenge. So, Faldor, looking at the skills on your character sheet, give me a narrative way that you would like to use your skills, given the scenario that we have that you're in town on the Spring Equinox Festival.
So we're guarding the caravan, or we're having fun at this festival?
That's up to you. You're telling me what you're doing on this roll. When it comes to your next roll, you will tell me what you're doing at that time. You can use one of your rolls to guard, one of your rolls to have fun, whatever. Or you can use all your rolls to have fun. But each of you individually gets to decide on your turn what you're doing in the context of this.
So at first, I'm just going to stick back. I'm going to use stealth. I'm going to stick back in the shadows just to watch and be perceptive. But I'm not using perception yet, but just being stealthy and just being aware of my surroundings through stealth, as in I'm hiding so that I can see them, but they can't see me.
Okay. All right. You're just like, you want to get a lay of the land without being noticed.
Amen.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Ooh, God, that's
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, 10 is not gonna cut it. Now, do you have DM inspiration?
I have no inspiration. Wait. I still have bardic inspiration, don't I? Do I have
That only lasts 10 minutes, so no, you don't.
Then
have
no.
Can DM inspiration go between players?
DM inspiration can be used for your other party members, yes.
I'll use mine to let him reroll.
Okay.
Better hope it's better than a 10. I have +8 to stealth. Oh, that's a lot better.
Oh, that's a lot better. Okay. All right. Now that
Thank you,
counts
Chris.
as one success. Yes. Thank you very much, Chris. Great job. A natural 20, which that was not a natural 20, but a natural 20 will count for 2 successes, and a natural 1 will count for 2 failures. So now, if your turn is done, I'm curious. I know it works when I do it, Faldor, but Michael, I'm curious, if you click that little EOT button, is it going to advance the turn? Yes, it will.
It did.
Okay, great. All right, Belle, it is to you.
So are we using 1 or 2 skills?
You use 1 skill at a time. And this time you can use any skill except stealth, because that's what Thaldor used. Next time you cannot use whatever Thaldor uses next turn and whatever you use this turn. So you can use anything except stealth.
That kind of changes what I was gonna do. Because I thought we were supposed to have like 2 skills, or is that on like the second round? You have 2.
No. It's no, just 1 skill at a time, and when you get to your next turn, I'll tell you what's available to you. Let's do it that way.
But we'll be overly joyed to see some festival going on, so she'll be ecstatic, wanting to jump around. So I'll use acrobatics, and I'll just be doing cartwheels and somersaults and things like that, just on the side of the road around the caravans in the circle.
Okay. Well, there's definitely lots of people celebrating, and so go ahead and make your acrobatics check.
Did it not pop? There we go.
Oh, there you go. Excellent. Well, that's an excellent roll. Okay, so that's 2 successes and no failures. So as you do your acrobatics, and I actually forgot to say how Faldor's went, so let me back up a moment. Faldor, you find a nice little place of shadow in the way that in the side of a building where there's like a cart that's set up there that's not being used tonight, but it's just casting a shadow, and then there's like a deeper shadow from the building, and you just sort of nestle right in there, and you're just able to get a good look out at the village green, and you see there's kids over there. They are playing games, and there are some people dancing over there with some musicians playing. um, there's a couple of people that look like they're kind of lurking about, and they're kind of being shifty eyed, and some of them are looking at the townsfolk, and some of them are looking over at the wagons. You can, okay, maybe you want to keep your eyes on them, but you're well hidden. And Belle, when it comes to your turn, you start doing hand sprints and cartwheels, and soon as you start going, you start hearing this laughter. And as you look up, there are children. And children are there kind of tumbling and doing somersaults and turning cartwheels. And they seem to think that you're inventing some sort of great game. So they are just having the time of their lives playing along with this tabaxi. All
Do
right. So
bells ring too?
yeah, yeah. So go ahead and yep. And now Errgal, you are up. So
If he's been
the
charged
only
with
thing you
guarding the
can't, yeah, the only thing you cannot use is acrobatics, which I don't think for your character is an issue.
He will guard the caravan if that's what he's been charged.
Okay, sure.
He will not fail his job.
And so, what skill are you going to use to do that?
Well, let's go ahead and get a success out of the way. We will use athletics.
Okay. You're doing a very vigilant sort of march around the perimeter, I guess. Athletics. Okay, yeah, great.
Yeah, he's got +9 to that skill.
Yeah. The commoner is now 3 successes to 0 failures. So everything is going really well. So Errgal is marching about. Brock, you notice him. He's going, and he's doing something very clever. He's not marching at a regular pace. He will vary his pace. So if somebody is trying to time his circuits, it's always different. Sometimes it's a little faster, sometimes it's a little slower, and then he will speed up at certain times during his, and then he'll slow down at certain times. So he's making it really difficult for anybody to figure out where he's going to be at any one time. You see, that's a pretty clever gambit there that he's doing. Okay, so Wesley, you can click that EOT button, and it should move on to the next person in the order.
What EOT button?
See in the chat, the little EOT right below your portrait. Okay, Brock, you are up.
All right, I'm going to use perception to look for anything suspicious. I'd like to argue the fact that I took preparations to give myself high ground in the formation for advantage, but I'm okay with that being turned.
I think since you did go through some specifics before we started, I think I'll go ahead and give you advantage on this roll. Yes. Okay. So perception. Oh, excellent. Hey, guess
It's a
what?
nat 20.
That's a nat 20. So that gives us 2 successes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Should be
5.
4.
Yeah. Okay. So you're at. Well, he got 2 successes with that roll, so instead of 1. So instead of being at 4 successes, he's at 5.
So with this system, do turns play off of other turns? For example, since I was looking for a perception, can I point this guy out to help somebody else track him down to get something?
You sure can. So, what you notice up there, you see that same group of shifty-eyed ne'er-do-wells that Faldor noticed before, and you see they've started to turn their attention toward one of the wagons where the silk merchant has their goods, and you also notice you also know that the silk merchant is carrying some spices and also some pearls, so has some pretty valuable cargo on that particular wagon. So these guys are sort of starting to scope that out.
With my high ground, I'm going to let off a loud whistle and point my axe at the group.
Okay, and they look and they kind of give you this look, and they seem a little bit almost impressed that you notice them, and then they quickly disperse and melt off into the crowd, going a different direction. All right, so now it's up to Mulek.
Okay, so before we left the wagons, I was walking along the wagons I was investigating the wagons to see which may contain items that would be more likely to be stolen. Which ones may be carrying something expensive, what weak points exist. And I would have placed one of, I have these, put this on here. Oh, that's really long. So I have these rocks that I've collected, and I have on one of the rocks I have created sort of an alarm sound, so that if it moves, it makes a sort of like a siren sound. And
Nice.
I use my investigation skills to place that in a location that would set off an alarm if someone were to steal something from the wagon. And before I do that, I take a pill. Have you guys seen Limitless?
Hell yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've got this alchemy kit, and I've got guidance, and so I have created these pills that give me a short-term power like Limitless to enhance my ability.
Okay.
So basically, I'm casting. Can I cast guidance on myself along with the investigation skill? I guess is what I'm asking.
Click the guidance. Click the guidance spell. Let's just double check the verbiage of it. Okay.
One action.
Divination, cantrip, guidance. I'm just gonna double check because that guidance. I'm gonna see in there.
It's a good spell.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically you can cast. I mean, that's cast a lot when people are doing stealth checks or trying to break a lock or whatever.
Yeah, stay out of combat. Give me D4.
But for a artificer, it has to be I'm not casting a spell. And so what I've done is I created these pills that enhance my ability, whatever
Yeah.
ability I need. And so that's how I'm wording it.
Yeah. Okay.
How you're flavoring it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how I'm flavoring it.
I don't see any errata that says you cannot use this on yourself. So okay, yeah, you can use it on yourself as long as you and I think you described it the right way. You do this before you do the
Correct.
skill check.
Yep.
So yep. All right. So go ahead.
So I do
go
do an
ahead and
invest-
roll. Yeah, roll your investigation and add a d4 to it. 18 and then add a d4.
Oh,
So it
all right.
turns it into a 19.
19.
That's good enough for a success. So, yes. Mulet goes around, looks around, and he finds this really clever place to put this. He puts it, he's got this little flat stone, and it's almost exactly the same color as the wood of the wagon. And so he finds one of the little hatches that opens on the wagon, and he places it there just so it's resting on it. But if anybody moves that hatchway, that thing is going to fall off and hit the ground, and it's going to set off that alarm. So he's got that set up, and that's good. All right, so you can. Oh, okay, good. You've already done it. Osprey, you're up.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm sorry. What, Ivy?
For Osprey, it's Ken's turn.
Oh, Ken. Yeah, Ken. I
And
think.
Ken is 7.14.
Yeah, he needs to be added to the initiative.
Did we? Oh,
He put it in Discord. 7.14.
It's also in the chat.
okay.
Right before mine, it says initiative 2.14, and it says his is 7.1.
Okay. All right. I thought he. Okay. I misheard him. I thought he said that his had been fixed and it was working now. So let me do 7.14, and then I'm going to take this and I am going to put him up at the
It's Osprey's roll backwards.
okay, there we go. All right, so Falliger, you are up. And go ahead.
Does Falliger see anybody that was pointed out from, was it from Mulik? No, who was that pointed him out?
Brock.
Brock, yeah. Does he see anybody else, or are they kind of just melded?
That group has melted away.
Okay. Oh, he was going to play his instrument and kind of sing and be intimidating. He's going to be like, dang you. If you steal from this caravan, we're going to hang you.
Now.
Okay.
I just look over from the shadows like hand in face. What is he doing?
Okay. All right. So it's a performance check. Great.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
hang him from the highest tree.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I was going to say I was going to use guidance, but I didn't. I could do the same thing that what's his name did, but I don't need it. I'll do it.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So so we're really cooking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes to no failures. So you start playing, and at first there's a group of people that they hear the music and they come a little closer and they're clapping, and then there's something about either the expression on your face or the way
eyes.
your the look in your eyes, and there's a little kid that starts kind of dancing, not paying attention, and then the arms of the mother go out and grab the kid, and they slowly start moving off away from the wagons.
It's not like he was Reiki Reiki hard.
Correct. Yes. Okay. Excellent. Well done. Okay. Click that EOT and let's make sure, Ken, that it's working for you, and that
The
it will go to
EOT.
that EOT button at the bottom right corner of the purple box in the chat. You're looking at the chat in Roll20.
The purple
It's
box.
like bright pink, like in a purple box.
You see
don't
the
see
one
it.
that has. You see it. Yeah. Okay.
There it is.
You clicked it. That one.
Okay.
Okay. So now,
So here's what I'm seeing in my
Osprey.
mind's eye. Though the horses and the wagons have all circled around, bells jumping around. We got this weird music, and we got a couple of people that have dispersed. So the thing that Osprey sees is that we're in the middle of a festival with a lot of activity starting to happen. He's going to use animal handling to keep the horses calm.
Okay. Good.
And let's hope that this fails so that there's a plot line. Yes.
Oh.
I think.
Okay. Well, that is one failure, balanced against 7 successes. Yes, as Osprey goes, and he tries to calm the horses, but instead he does something that inadvertently starts to spook the horses, and so they start to shy, and they start to scream a little bit, and some of the drovers come running over, and they start calming the animals and whatnot, so that distracts them a little bit from what they were doing, and they kind of give Osprey this look like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And they sort of shoo you away from the animals, because you're causing them distress. You doing anything in response to them taking umbrage to your presence near the animals?
Who is it that's doing that?
Some of the drovers, the drivers of the wagons, that are having to come over and calm the animals because you messed it up and agitated them instead.
So it all depends on what he did. So it feels like it's an accident.
Oh,
So
yeah.
What would have been if he's in? Okay, if you got horses in a wagon, then actually here's what happened. He went to a horse, and the horse got jealous because he didn't go to the alpha horse. So the alpha horse is the one that started.
Okay.
So that set them all off when the alpha horse got a little bit offended because the alpha horse figured they weren't getting attention. So now these guys are like, so Osprey points in surprise at the big horse. It's like he points out, look out.
And they look over at the alpha, and they look back at you, and they say, well, yeah, he's the prime stallion. What about it? What did you do to him?
Who is starting? The alpha would be he is upsetting. He is upset.
Well, yeah, because you don't know what you're doing. Now get out of here. Leave this to the professionals. You don't drive the cart. And they just kind of grumble and shake their head and go, caravan guards.
Little does he know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Intern.
So, yeah, Osprey, you can intern. Excellent.
Round 1.
Yes. Oh, well, it should be round 2, but that's fine. So, Faldor, on round... Actually, I can do this. That's one of the cool things about this macro is it lets me do that. Round count is reset to round 2. It doesn't change the number there, but it does change it to round 2. So, Faldor, he just used animal handling. And your first time through,
I use stealth.
you use stealth. So you cannot use stealth this time, and you cannot use animal handling, but you can use anything else. So
Oh,
what
really?
Would you like? Yes. So what would you like to use?
This is making it hard. Let me
That's
think.
part.
Hold on.
That's why it's called a challenge.
Exactly. It is. My mind is like going a million miles a minute. Okay, let me think. Can
You got
I?
5
So
seconds.
this group is. Hey! Don't, this ain't battle. Real quick. Shut up. I'm trying to think. Real quick. Do I see that group starting to disperse? That was looking like they're real interested in the cart.
Oh yeah, they're gone. They're gone after Brock whistled at them and kind of just pointed that big great axe menacingly at them. They decided that yeah, whatever that caravan has is not worth losing a hand over or worse.
Fair. Then I'm gonna slink out of the shadows. Do I see, like you said, they're playing games? Is there like any booth setup or something that I could use sleight of hand in to try to win the game?
Oh yes, there's a couple of the classic games that always show up at fairs like this. There's like a little carny row, and they have the one where this is a game that you will know how they like to cheat at this game. It's the thing where it has the bottles and the little rings, and you're trying to throw the rings around the necks of the bottles. And the thing is that the way those bottles are designed, it's kind of deceptive, and the necks are actually a little fatter than they look like they are. And so the rings have to be just perfectly placed in order to go on there. But if you have a little way of, if you know the secret, you can kind of eliminate that sheet that they're doing.
Oh yeah, I'll be quick. So as they like turn around, they're trying to get more people to come up. I slide one of the rings over the bottle. Hey, I got it.
Okay, so you're going to use sleight of hand?
Yes.
Okay, then go ahead and.
Oh God.
Oh.
Sorry,
Okay.
guys. We got to get bad rolls every once in a while.
Yeah, the
Pills.
you do that. You do that. Whoops, I'm sorry. That's not what I wanted to do. I need to grab this guy and move him up one. You get over there, and you wait until one of the carnival workers is turned around, and you push the ring down over the neck of the bottle, and then you hear someone clearing their throat from behind you. And you turn and you look, and you see one of the other carnival workers there, and he just kind of shakes his head and says, I see you've worked the booths before, but you're not working this booth. Get out of here.
I'm about to slink away slowly with my head hung in shame. Like I could have done this. What my uncle would think.
Okay. All right. So that was Theodore and Bell. Now, he just used sleight of hand. And last time you used acrobatics. So you cannot use sleight of hand. You cannot use acrobatics, but you can use anything else.
You know what I was planning on doing, but I was like, damn. I was gonna steal the toy from the kids that was being entertained by me, but I guess it's out of the books now.
That would be sleight of hand. So,
I would
oh my
have like a
goodness.
toy for
That's good.
myself.
Wait a minute, is your persuasion pretty high? You probably could charm it away from them.
Yeah, you might be able to convince them to give you something.
Stealing from
use
children.
persuasion.
Oh Lord.
A rogue, and I thought that was bad. Come on now,
Yeah.
still from a child.
Would deception work? No,
Um.
because it's like on verbal, like trying to deceive someone instead of just trying to take something.
Yeah. Probably persuasion would be your best bet, just to have somebody give something to you.
Maybe that
And
teddy bear's
make them think it was their idea that they wanted to give it to you in the first place.
Deception.
Oh, and I forgot to tell you, but this brings up, her question brings up a good point. You can use your spells narratively in a skills challenge.
Oh,
Let's say that, let's just say for the sake of argument that Belle had Charm Person as a spell. Now she could say, "Oh, I'm going to use Charm Person because I want that vendor in that stall to give me that giant teddy bear or whatever." And so she could use her skill roll, and that would be Arcana because that's a spell. If you are a cleric or a paladin or something, you would use religion as your skill for that spell instead of using Arcana. So divine spells fall under Arcana, or our divine spells fall under a religion. Arcane spells fall under Arcana. And then if you succeed, that's fine, but you don't erase that spell slot because you just use that spell narratively. You didn't actually cast that spell. So if you went into a combat later on, you would still have that spell available to you for the combat. So I hadn't remembered to mention that rule to you, but because of the way you were, what you were thinking of doing, I wanted to make sure that we covered that.
Just because I want to have like a kick and laugh about this, and because you kind of fueled this now, I want to turn to the kids and say, well, we had our fun, so I guess it's time to lay our heads down and take a nap, why don't you say? As I'll use my sleep spell.
Oh my goodness.
And can I use my bardic inspiration or no?
No, not on yourself.
No? Okay. Well.
Okay. And that's actually not quite going to be good enough. 11 is not quite going to be good. Okay, so hey, we started off really strong, but now we're starting to hit a little bit of a rough patch. So you guys want to start thinking of the spell or the skills that you have that have a good bonus, and think narratively of how you could use those in this situation. You all should be well enough balanced characters that you have at least 2 skills that have a fairly high bonus.
I had other good ones. I just wanted to go along with what I was thinking.
Okay. All right. So
with the children.
Errgal, this has worked out really well for you because the bard goes right in front of you, and the bard is not a bulky and strong character. So the athletics is out for you because you used it before, but the other one you cannot use is Arcana. So anything else though?
Well, his Arcana would stink anyway. These individuals who have been giving the fellow caravanners trouble, I'm going to march up to them and with his huge size and his gleaming armor and his arsenal of weapons and attempt to intimidate them to basically.
Okay. Yeah, there's one that you've spotted who's a little sketchy, and he's looking, and you go up to him and you just sort of say, yes, those are nice wagons, aren't they? And they're well guarded. And he just looks up at you and goes, oh, yes, sir. Yeah, yes, I can see they are.
And we believe in the classic treatment for a thief. You steal once, we cut off your arm. You steal again, we cut off your head.
And he's like, and you can see his Adam's apple working as he swallows heavily. And he goes, oh, yes, well, I'm sure nobody would attempt to steal from the caravan this evening. It's so well protected. Oh, all right. Good night. And he turns and he starts to scurry off. And he does that thing where he slams into a parked cart. And he kind of holds his forehead a little bit. And then he has to turn and go. And he heads on down an alley somewhere, getting away from the action. All right. So let's go ahead and click that EOT button and we'll Brock. All right.
Person, kind of like Errgal, kind of riding off his steam, but look for someone sketchy and use my athletics to escort them out of the crowd. Even if they're not guilty, I just want to show force.
Okay. All right. Yeah, there's like a couple, or there's like a group of youths over there, and they're kind of eyeing one of the caravan guards that has been, taking advantage of some of the ale, and it's had 2 or 3 ales. And they're kind of looking over because he's got his coin purse just sort of hanging, not quite open, but hanging there very temptingly. And you can see in this group of like 4 youths, there's 3 of them that are sort of kind of goading one of them, and you can tell that if there's no intervention, he's probably going to give in to the peer pressure and probably going to try something sooner or later.
Yeah, I want to take 2 by the back of the neck, 1 in each hand, avoiding the one with all the gold because I like him to spend that gold here, and I'll escort them out.
Okay.
That's 15. That's not an advantage.
Okay. Well, that's still a success. That's good enough for a success. So that will advance. You go over there, and they, it's one of those classic things where they don't see you until you're right on them, and then they all try to look innocent. And as soon as your big meaty hands grab a hold of the jackets of 2 of them, the other 2 they just they run off. They're just going to leave their friends hanging, and then you take them back over somewhere where away from the wagons and let them go, and as soon as you take your hands off them, they just dart away and go off down the street somewhere. All right, Mulek, you are up.
So I see Bell's horrendous attempt at putting these youth to sleep. They have too much energy, and I run up to them and I go, "You guys want to have some fun?" And they all go, "Yeah!" And I come follow me, and so I run a little ways off. And this is what I was planning on doing, but tell me if I need to use Arcana. But I was going to actually use my nature skill to assess my knowledge of terrain and plants and stuff. The best place to set up a slip and slide.
That would be an Arcana for sure. That would be an Arcana.
I was hoping it was just going to be my nature because it's sort of it's not like I'm doing an attack spell, but okay, so I'll do Arcana. But I was going to pull out my little tinker gun. I spin the cylinder and I shoot out and set up a slip and slide for the kids.
Can I join them?
Start slide.
You can play if you want to, Belle. If this succeeds, you can.
Nat 20.
Oh, nat 20. Well, that works great. So that's 2 successes. So now you need only 1 more success in order to win. 1 success balanced against 3 failures to win. And as you create this little slip and slide, you pull the trigger on your little gun, and at first you get worried because it seems like it's more energetic than useful, and it actually gives you more of an area of grease than it normally does. And at first you kind of wonder, uh-oh, have I done something wrong? But the kids, they see what you've done, and they see the little hill there, and they just let out the wildest cheer. And before you can even kind of uh, think any further than, uh-oh, this may not have worked right, the first couple of them are just throwing themselves down and starting to slide down this little hill on that. And they're all just laughing and clapping, and they go, yay, mister, thank you, mister.
Yeah.
And,
Have fun. Better than sleep, huh?
oh, yeah, a lot better.
Belle will go down and her fur will be dripping with grease.
Okay, all right. And Falazur. Okay, it's your turn. The Arcana was just used before you, and last time, let's see, what did you use last time? Last time you used Intimidation. So you can use anything except Intimidation or Arcana.
Oops, I misclicked something. Hold
Hey,
I w-
Chris. Doing well.
I would like to run around singing a silly song, pretending kind of like with the notion of like stealing. The last time I was intimidating, but this time it's just going to be a performance. So I'm just going to use
Okay.
and he's going to sing a song. He's going to sing, "Oh Lord, please don't burn us. Don't grill or toast your flock. Don't put us on a barbecue or stick us in a stock. Don't braise or bake or boil us, for stealing is wrong, or stir fry us in a wok. Oh, please don't lightly poach us or baste us with hot fat. Don't fricassees or roast us or boil us in the vat," or something like that. And then, yeah, performance. Of course, he sings in his country accent. I don't know why I didn't. Yikes!
Oh, okay. Well,
Bad.
yeah, that.
Oh, I forgot to guidance myself again. Darn it! All right.
Okay, well, that's not quite gonna do it. Now, there's this time, the reaction from some people is that they just think that you may have had a little bit too much to drink, and they kind of laugh along with your song because it seems like you're having fun with it. But they just sort of, oh, drunk guy with a guitar. Okay, isn't that funny? All right, but no ill effects come from that, other than you guys get a loss on the for that skill use. So you now need 1 more success, and you want to avoid 2 more failures. So Ken, you can go ahead and send it on to Osprey. Osprey, hey, you could be the hero, or you could force Thaldor to save your bacon. What do you guys want to do?
Osprey is dejected as he walks away from being shooed off of horses. That just strikes him down to the heart. He sees that there was kids forming and thought about making an appearance, but then he realizes that somebody else was doing a performance, so he can't do that. And he sees the Grease Hill. There upon the Grease Hill, staying behind, is one who is afraid to go on the Grease Hill. And Osprey says, "Well, I will give him love and energy and persuade him to take his first big dive into this adventure. I will
Okay.
persuade this guy to have fun with the rest of the kids."
Okay. All right.
Go, Ace.
Oh, excellent. Okay. That is a success. Okay, wonderful. Well, you guys, the evening goes on. It's a rousing success. Those of you who have been working with the kids, you eventually get approached by several grateful parents, and they thank you for helping their kids to have such a wonderful time at the Spring Equinox Festival. And as they go to shake your hand, you feel coin in your hand. Those of you who have been um, watching or confronting some of the ne'er-do-wells, you find some of the shopkeepers in the town. They will come up to you and they will, thank you for running off the scallywags. And as they go to shake your hands, you feel coin in your hands. Um, and those of you who have been performing, oh gosh, people come up to you. They enjoy what you've done. They press coins into your hands. Everybody gets 10 gold that you can um, add to your inventory. So each of you gets to add 10 gold to your inventory for the evening. And the rest of the evening passes. The next day is a very good day of trade for the caravan because they typically will have really good turnout with the festival. And in terms of the events that are planned for tonight, we're going to go ahead and stop here. But before we actually end, everybody got a chance tonight to see and meet Errgal, Wesley's character. But Wesley, unless he had a chance to listen to the episode from last week or the week before, he has not had a chance to hear about your characters. So will everybody go around? And I'll just start with the order that you are on my screen here. Go around and just tell Wesley what his character would see when he sees your character. So Ivy, you are the first on my screen here. What would Ergal see when he sees Belle?
Well, if you couldn't tell by her personality, she's bubbly, she's joyful, she wants to bring the energy out of people. She is a small little petite tabaxi, like a peachy colors with big huge bells on her ears. Always found smiling, and right now a complete grease ball, just tracing grease everywhere. Even a day later, grease is still falling off her.
Okay, and normally she carries a dulcimer that she plays, but she would have put that away someplace carefully before she started playing in the grease, I'm sure.
Huh.
Okay, and you did say you were Tabaxi. All right,
Yeah.
great. Mulek,
Yeah,
Uh,
Mulek's like mid to late 20s human. Generally have a hood over my head, uh, plain clothes. I like to geek out on little tinker stuff, gadgets and such. I generally keep to myself up until now. I've pretty much been pretty quiet, looking around. I'm inquisitive, but yet almost standoffish a little bit. And then up until tonight, I've been that way, but I sort of let loose tonight with the kids and realized that I should let a little bit of joy into my life and have a little bit of fun, and not be so serious all the time.
Wow, Belle's really growing on these people already.
okay, Brock. What would Errgal see when he sees you?
Brock looks exactly like the portrait I have, but he's about 6'5", half orc. He's tall but more slender than you would expect from an orc or half orc for that matter, but very firm. Yellow eyes, pointy ears, long black hair tied into a samurai ponytail. He walks with a certain air about him that says something mysterious, but he does have a very charming air to him as well that kind of contradicts that. He's sporting just traveler's clothes, so he's unarmored, but he has an arsenal on his back, a great axe, battle axe at his side, shield on his back.
Okay. And then Ken, what would Errgal see when he sees Falasher?
He'd see a tall elf, half elf, about 6 feet tall. He's got bronzed kind of skin. Maybe if he gets close enough, you'll see some hazel green eyes. He's got dark brown hair with copper highlights in it. And yeah, he's got a guitar on his back. He's pretty well dressed in casual, just traveling clothes. And seems jovial.
Okay. All right. And Vernon, what about Osprey? What would Errgal notice about Osprey?
Osprey is 5'6", and so somewhat short. Appears to be human. He's got a very, very well developed body, show muscles, and hair, which is like anime hair. It stays in positions it shouldn't necessarily stay in. He actually does wear clothes sometimes. It's not always the picture that you see, and in fact, he tends to wear clothes unless he's trying to make an appearance. So, if you met him here, unless you happen to be a racing fan, you don't know who he is. But if you move among the caravan, they will tell you that this guy, Osprey, the ace Morisato, is here. And you might even see somebody holding their fingers in a certain way. Osprey is always trying to be love and energy.
Okay. All right. And last but not least, Michael, what would Errgal see when he spies Thaldor?
And this time I'm not asleep. No, he would see a skinny, I wouldn't say too skinny, medium build kid in his 20s, late 20s, or middle 20s. Cloak, he got his hood up above his head, he's wearing his cloak, and he's just slinking around in the shadows, just watching people and being very observant of what's going on, and just smiling and kind of giggling under his breath at watching them play in the grease because he thought it was funny. And just that's about what he would see. Just he might wave, looking at the big guy, like, oh hi, but then slink in the shadow and you wouldn't see him at all.
Okay. All right. Everyone.
I'm mysterious, if that's a better way to put it.
Okay, that's great. Okay, well, in terms of the actual game session, we're going to go ahead and call it there for this evening. This is a good stopping place. We will pick up with the caravan um, leaving the town next session and heading on the way. And I'm glad we got a chance to use some of the encounter tools. That whole initiative thing and the highlighting the tokens and automatically moving the turn, that was one of the main things I wanted to um, test run with other people. It works when I do it myself, but of course the proof is always when you have other people in there and the tools work for everybody. So that is good. I do have a little bit of an announcement. I got a message back, and in 10 days, so not on the 14th, but on the 21st, I will be hosting a one shot for another virtual convention. That is going to be the God, I always blank on the name of that. It's the heck is the name of that convention? It is the da, 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 da. Well, shoot. Oh, it looks like they went and they took that thing out of there. Okay, I'm gonna have to go to a different. Go to my bookmarks and find it. Okay, the Glitch Expo. Glitch Expo will be coming up, and I will send you guys or I will put into the Discord a link to that. And this Glitch Expo, it's another one of the online conventions. They're doing cosplay stuff. They're doing anime. They're doing panels, and I'll be doing a one-shot D&D game. So I am in the midst of trying to write that now. One of my tasks that I've given myself is to finish that up this weekend, so I can start, so I can get it posted. Looking for people that might want to play. It's probably going to be a Saturday afternoon time slot, mid-afternoon. I need to verify what time they gave me. I think it was 4 o'clock. So it's like 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, the 21st. And yeah.
The 21st is a Sunday. So do you mean the 20th or?
I mean the 20th, yes. It's
okay.
20th. I mean the 20th, yes. So thank you. So yes, it's in 9 days. Whew, so that's coming up even faster. Okay, so Saturday the 20th at probably around 4 p.m. is what I'm thinking. All right, so that is the only announcement I have.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, I got a sick baby. I got to go.
Okay, all right. Hey, thanks, Wesley. Glad you could make it tonight. We look forward to having you again next week.
All right, see y'all.
And does anybody else have any announcements for the week? Anything they want to talk about?
I'm taking my first trip into the mountain attractions on Saturday.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. I'll see if there's any shows I can get and go to my first show back to Sweet Fanny Adams and waste away again in Margaritaville. Maybe get my persona. I have a persona for my podcast. I need a hat with a hat band for it. So it all kind of starts on Saturday, what I came hearing.
Okay, great. Well, good luck. It sounds like that endeavor should be fun. I hope that it goes well for you, man.
Yeah, seriously.
Anybody else? Oh, I think uh, Ivy. I think I saw something that you posted on Discord.
Yeah, as my bio type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, big changes coming to me soon, and in the start of July 2nd, that is my official first day back to school, which is college for me.
Okay,
And
great.
I am
Yay.
to the AFAA, which is Flight Attendant Academy. Atlantic Flight Attendant Academy. There we go. That's the full name. But that's going to be a big change, and I'm super excited for that. Super surprised it's still running now too, but
Yeah. Well, there are still people having to travel. I don't think air travel ever completely shut down. You know, I live obviously in Orlando, and you don't think of Orlando as a huge city because population wise, Orlando is not a huge city. But we do have two international airports that are literally within about 15 miles of each other in this city. And there is, in normal times, there's a near constant low roar in the air of um, planes that are either coming in to the airport or planes that are flying out of the airport. Where I happen to live, I'm um, you know, probably 12 miles away from the main airport, and there must be one of their outer markers that's like right near my house, because it's like I can just go out in my yard and look up and just watch plane after plane fly right over. And they're not terribly loud here because they're all coming in to land, and so they're not running their engines really hard. But the from about mid March until maybe mid April, it would get eerily quiet sometimes because there was not much air traffic except for air cargo. And there were only very few passenger airliners that were flying. And so you would sometimes go, 5 or 10 minutes of just silence. You couldn't hear anything except the birds. And then after a while, you'd hear a plane coming, and it would go over. But that's about the quietest it's been here in a long, long, long time.
yeah, as far as I understand what's going on with the airports and air ships, what they're called, ships in the sky, uh, planes. There we go.
Airplanes.
Yeah, no, the planes, like, they were trying to cut back on it, but of course they couldn't because people want to travel and whatever. But flight attendants were not supposed to have customer service, so they basically cut that out. But they were still like, having to give them like food and drinks and whatever, and then so many less people on the planes, masks, washing hands constantly, and apparently a lot of people got laid off, and they're supposedly hiring everyone back in September. And I graduate in the middle of September. So I'm still hoping that I'll be able to get hired right away. But if not,
Yeah, well, I mean, air travel, working as an air host or air hostess, I think is the technical term they're using these days, is or flight attendant or whatever. The that is really a stressful job because, you know, it sounds a whole lot of fun. You're traveling all the time, but that's just it. You're traveling all the time. And
There's so much
yeah,
more things to it. Yeah, I was
yeah,
completely doing my research. Like, I've had this idea for years. Like, flight attendant's my way that I want to go. Because the first 2 years is basically they can call you whenever they want and say,
uh-huh.
yeah, you're working. If it's in the middle of the night or 2 o'clock in the morning, or if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you cannot make plans. You can't plan for anything. You need to be there. And you only have like 2 hours to get to the airport, and that's it.
Well, it depends on who you work for. Because a friend of he's been doing it for 6 years now. He's been doing it for a while, and Dustin, he's been doing air steward for a while. And no, he works with, I think, I can't remember who he works for, but he's doing, and literally like what he said his first couple of years like that. They keep you, like, if you're on a rotation, where usually you want to stay in a place where the hub is. And what he means by the hub is like where that airplane company or airline company is out of. So he literally moved from Nashville to South Carolina to be closer to where their office is or something, so that he's close to the main airport where they're mostly located, so that he can be within that distance. But he said also too, like when he's on a job, like if he's overseas, especially, like he goes to London all the time, and he's like, I stay, in a hotel not far from the airport. So it's a nice job. It pays well, and he has fun.
Well, and the benefits are awesome too.
Lots of benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to travel the world, that's a great job.
But yeah,
Oh,
it does depend on what airline and things like that you work for. And there is like a technical term of when you don't live in your hub. I believe it's called commuting. Whenever you have to take a plane to your like hub to be able to work. So
Yeah.
that's real interesting.
Yeah, it's doable. It just can be
Yeah.
a pain. Yeah.
I'd say a great airline to work for. It'd be hard for you since you're in Nova Scotia, but maybe you can get a visa. Is come work for Southwest Airlines.
I was thinking United or American airline. And if I don't get into either or of those, I was thinking Air Canada. So
United is pretty good, but you'll make like maybe around 10,000 less. Delta's is pretty good.
Yeah, as a passenger, the two airlines I really like flying are Southwest and JetBlue. And that's because from Orlando, of course, this is me thinking, how it benefits me. From Orlando on JetBlue or Southwest, I can get almost anywhere in the continental U.S. nonstop. Just go to my airport, and then when I get off the plane, I'm where I want to be. I don't have to have any layovers.
Mhm.
I don't have to stop. I don't have to change planes. I don't want to deal with that crap. Just get me from my city, take me to the city I want to go to, and don't give me any nonsense along the way.
Yeah, I agree. Like Southwest Airlines to me is like the best. They've got a good safety record. Hell, you get free. Their nuts are delicious. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And they usually have really good hostesses and decent pilots. I think good pilots. They're going to pay you the most. But JetBlue actually is, man, I think they're like 5th overall. They're not that great. They're considerably cheaper, but they might be a good company for you to start with. So you might look at like a 46,000 a year median starting, but it might be a great company for you to start with because I think they also have international flights. I think JetBlue. I'm not sure.
Because the thing is right now is that I don't have American visa or whatever, so I have to be based in based in Canada if I want to be a flight attendant. Is what one of my other flight attendant friends said to me, but I'm not sure how true that is. So I'll be talking to my school about it and see if I could find a base in the U.S. and if they allow U.S. airlines in the school or not, because it's normally limited to Canadian Airlines for what I understand right now.
I think
Well,
it's to get your foot in the door. That's what it is right now.
Yeah. I think it'd be smart for you to try to go outside of the Canada, Air Canada, because you're going to have a lot of competition with your classmates. But if you try to go for something that's international, or you can get your visa or your passport or whatever and get a temp work or whatever you need to get, work for an American airline, you're gonna make more money.
Because to me, it's not all about the money. It's just of the places where I can go. I know more places in the US and Tokyo, Japan, or London or things like that that I can go, and I know I'll have fun. And like, I know there's multiple places in Canada I'll have fun. Like, I know anywhere that I go, I'll enjoy it. But it's still the point of I know more places or names around the US and things like that, thanks to my friends, than I do in
Hey, everybody. I'll catch y'all later. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Take care, Michael. All right. Cool. Well, yeah. Hopefully that goes well for you, Ivy.
That's what I would do. I would jump on the international crew for your start. It'd be great on your resume too.
Been my experience that you got to get the job first.
You
That's
know,
why put the foot in the door and then go for a major airline or something like that once you build that confidence and that experience.
I'm gonna tell you right now, she's gonna have a better chance going outside than, because most of her classmates are gonna try to do Air Canada or something like that, and if she goes outside of that, she'll have better odds.
Well,
I think.
The point. You gotta.
Many people over here the same thing though.
Yeah, you gotta increase the odds. It's like if she comes up with 48,000 after 6 months, and she'll do better than I ever did in my life, because I have 3 useless degrees, and they're business degrees. It's like it's about getting the job and maximizing your possibility to get the job.
Well, a lot of those pilots flying the planes are only making $30,000 starting off. So
yeah, I know. It was amused when I was 18. I went to, I think it was like the number 3 best pilot school in the nation, was right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, called Spartan. And I went there when I was 18, and I was going through school, and then September 11th happened, and I was like, all right, well, there it is. The shit's gonna hit the fan, and it collapsed. And I know that there are pilots right now starting off. I mean, McDonald's managers make more than they do.
Yes, that's the thing. You know, if you want to make the big money that those pilots make, it could take you 10 years or more. What the industry just went through, I know a lot of those pilots have been furloughed or about to be furloughed, and
they're going to start getting pruned. Yep,
it's going to be a challenge unless the economy really does bounce back and people start traveling again.
Well, right now it's booming. Like, I was watching like 3 of my vloggers that I was watching flight tendency, and they've been getting 100 plus people on each and every flight that they've been going to on really any plane now. But there are also times where, okay, well, there's only a few seats.
But I think a lot of planes are parked right now. So
yeah, definitely there still is.
They're managing the demand.
I think if you go in a niche where you're flying cargo planes or special commodities and things like that, you could probably make a really good living. That's what I would do that's what I wanted to do when I was going to go in pilot school and finish. I wanted to go on to
well, the UPS and FedEx are very competitive.
Yes.
Very competitive, because a lot of pilots don't want to deal with the people. They'd just rather just fly those fly a bunch of boxes around. They don't have to deal with all the other crud.
Yeah, and the competition for those jobs really spiked after everybody saw that movie and they thought that Tom Hanks might be riding on their plane with them.
Yeah.
So.
What? No.
It's like, oh man, I'm gonna go work for a cargo plane. Maybe Tom Hanks will fly with me.
Mm-hmm.
Why did it have to be snakes?
Yeah, I think most air hostesses make more than first-year pilots.
Well, what I understand how flight attendants get paid is the minimum wage ish for a flight attendant is $20 an hour, and then it goes up. But basically, we get paid for how long we're out of base for. So, like, if I have like a 3-day layover or a leg or something like that, I get paid like $1 each hour for, or something like that, for how long I'm gone. Then I get paid whenever I'm on the plane and whenever the doors are closed and we're actually doing our jobs. And then if we're ever on standby in the airport, we also get paid for that time. And we're guaranteed a 75 hours of pay each month. So even if we don't work at all that whole month, we at least get that 75 hours of pay.
Yeah, the average hourly pay now is like, I think it's like 37.44. Some I guess flight attendants are making like $69 an hour, but they've got to be vets or
That's
veterans.
seniors.
Yeah,
Senior
they
levels.
what do they call them? I fly maybe a couple of times a year at most, but what do they call it? They don't. It's like the crew leader or something. The whoever the senior flight attendant is. That's
Seniority
kinda,
is basically
yeah.
what they're called. But basically, the first year you're a newbie, you like don't know anything. You're on like on call reserve. But then
Yeah.
like the third to fourth year, you're like, depending on the airline, it's different for every airline. But one of them is that you're on reserve a month and you're on like bidding another month. And then
Yeah.
like I think 6+, you're like bidding 3 months and then you're on reserve once. It all switches up. So I don't know.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, hey, everybody, have a great week. And hopefully we'll have even some more fun things in place to automate our sessions by next week. Fun tonight went well. Glad everybody enjoyed the skills challenge. We'll try to throw a few more of those in there from time to time.
Yeah, that was fun.
I
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
really like the new like turn order initiative thingy that like you end turn and that block that says, "Hey, it's your turn. Pay attention."
Yeah, that's a nice thing there that it gives. It's a good visual cue.
I wish it would say you're up next instead of it's your turn or whatever.
Yeah. It tells you. It doesn't tell you whose turn it is now and who is about to be next. It tells you who's finished and whose turn it is now. So
Yeah.
you do have to kind of look back and forth from one side of the screen to the other. And of course, maybe I can move that. I might be able to move that turn order thing over closer
You
to the
can
chat.
You
move
can you
Well,
can move
everybody-
it. Yeah, you can move it wherever you want.
Yeah.
The turn order.
Turn orders.
change its side and everything.
I put it in chat. I'm gonna tell you probably every week, but I might forget that. I got a fishing trip planned on July 5th, so I may or may not make it
Okay.
to the July 9th game, or maybe the Sunday. I don't even know if we're playing Sunday the 5th. I just assume we're not, since it's 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm glad you mentioned something. And if I forget to say something this week, remind me. I had meant to ask people, because I think I asked when we were coming up to Memorial Day, and everybody said they were wanting to play. But I do want to, on a holiday weekend like that, find out if everybody wants to play or if you'd rather just take the day off.
Yeah,
that's
most
fine with me.
holidays. Yeah, most holidays it's like, okay, this is a holiday, but like July, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Well, this Thanksgiving we actually played, didn't we? But because it rolled
think we
over
did, yeah.
it rolled over perfectly on the dates. But Usually Thanksgiving's not a problem for Sundays, but yeah, for like 4th of July and stuff like that, it can be.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, hey, are you going fishing? Is it like ocean or river or one of the lakes?
I'm just gonna go down to Texas and hit a couple of lakes and do some crappie and
nice.
fishing and stuff.
Nice.
No really
nice.
good place to go fishing at? Nova Scotia.
I know. I want to go fishing in Nova Scotia, but we've got it's gonna be pretty fun. I think. Hopefully, it's not too packed. July 5th, we got a big ass luxury pontoon boat, and we got like a professional angler. He's gonna take us out. It's kind of fun.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Great.
Real
Well,
nice.
hope you guys catch a lot and have a lot of fun.
Sure, we will, no matter what. I mean, if we don't catch anything there, if the lake's too crazy, then we'll go back to one of his lakes near where he's at, and then he just bought a brand new bass boat. I think it was like a $40,000 boat or more.
Oh my goodness.
He bought a brand new 2020 bass boat with a big ass Yamaha engine on the back of it, and he's like so excited. It's like fully decked out. So I'm sure we'll go have some fun in that.
Nice.
Correct me
Yeah.
if I'm wrong or not, but I hope it's raining for you. Because don't fish normally come out more whenever it's raining?
That's.
Oh, some fish anyway.
It depends. But
I hope it's light raining.
I hope it's not raining on the 5th. It might be kind of nice actually on the pontoon boat because it's covered. But
yeah,
not like drenching, like oh my god, I can't stand this. I'm gonna like flood my boat. No, like just light rain, drizzle.
We're gonna be crappie fishing, and I don't know if most people don't know what crappie is. It's kind of a southern fish.
I think like a little panfish or something.
They're like a mixture between a big ass perch and a bass, like a smallmouth bass. You'd have to Google it.
Oh, okay.
It's called a crappie.
I'm thinking of something else then.
I was thinking crawfish.
Okay.
It's like a very aggressive perch, but they get like several. They can get up to I think it's like 2 pounds or 3 pounds. But they're they get up to like black crappie can get up to 3.3 pounds and white crappie get up to 2.8. But you have to use a special rig on your pole. And have to use a special setup. It has to be ultra sensitive because they bite so lightly. If you don't use those special setups, you can't feel them actually bite, so you can't catch them.
Oh, nice. Well, hey, stream, I'm going to tell the streamers, the viewers on the stream, good night. Y'all take care, and we will see you guys next week.
Night.